Hey friends, I'm Albert Myers, and welcome to another episode of The Creative Side, the show that explores and celebrates the talent of the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. On today's show, we have Luke Justin Roberts. Bringing together influences of Coldplay, Peter Gabriel, Steve Winwood, Hillsong Australia, and modern pop, his unique genre blending creates a modern sound that spans the full emotional spectrum with an underlying sense of nostalgia and longing. He's done a lot of covers, but he's now focused mainly on writing original songs and finishing his first solo album. Here's the music video for Luke's original song, I Can't Say.
I wish that I could tell you just what to say. I wish that I could tell you that it's all okay. But the truth is that I don't know if the sun will shine tomorrow. Yeah. And I can't say which way the wind will blow, or if the stars will come out tomorrow. I can't say how it is or how it will be, 'cause that's not up to me. But I can say everything's gonna get better, that everything's gonna be alright. One day we'll wake up and this will be a dream. From time to time I think of how it used to be. Time to time I think of how I thought I could see, how I thought I knew how everything was gonna go and play out tomorrow. Yeah. But now I know that I can't say which way the wind will blow, or if the stars will come out tomorrow. I can't say how it is or how it will be, 'cause that's not up to me. But I can say that everything's gonna get better, that everything's gonna be alright. One day we'll wake up and this will be a dream. One day we'll wake up and this will be a dream.
I'm very happy to have as my guest on this episode of The Creative Side, Luke Justin Roberts, singer-songwriter. Thanks for being here, Luke.
Dude, thanks for having me, Albert. This is great, man.
So just to get the ball rolling, Luke, tell me a little bit about your journey with music. When did you get started playing music, and what was your, I guess, a perfect way to start would be, what was your first instrument, Luke?
Yeah, so my first instrument was drums. I started officially playing a drum set when I was about 5. But before that, we had some Maxwell House coffee cans, like the metal ones with the plastic lids, and I would kind of beat on those. I totally broke through all the plastic, but that was the part that sounded cooler, like actual toms, as opposed to the metal undersides. But I got started, honestly, not because I was in love with the sound of music particularly. It was more so because my older brother started playing guitar, and I was like, dang it, now I got to learn something. And what's the easiest thing I could learn? And that was literally how my brain was working at the time. I thought, okay, well, drums, because like you just hit stuff. That's easy. You don't have to learn all the complicated fingerings of piano or guitar and all that stuff. And at the time, I thought singing was only for girls, and which of course is completely wrong. But such was my mind at that age. So drums was kind of the initial thing. My dad had a band, and we would always be roadies for his band, taking his equipment, in and out of the venues and stuff. And then I started playing for church probably around when I was 10. I think that was the first time that I played for the, adult worship service. And then kind of got soaked in that, playing for all the adult worship services quite often. And then all the youth services as well, as I would kind of go through like the middle school youth group to high school youth group and college age and all that kind of stuff.
Wow. So it sounds like almost like music, you had an avenue, like a clear, almost like a path to music. It sounds like your family played, and that's excellent. So when did you start to really getting serious about writing music and the creative part about it?
I think a lot of the part of writing kind of came naturally to me. Probably like, I'd say like 7th grade was when I first started writing some songs and trying my hand at that. I wrote some like really crappy worship songs. And sometimes I actually thought like, I somehow convinced myself that I could take a song that somebody else had written and like, I would just change the lyrics and somehow this would be my song now.
I mean, you're not completely wrong in that,
Yeah.
I learn all the time that, Bob Dylan, for being the, the writer that he is, but a lot of those early albums are old folk and like spiritual songs that the tune, he took the tune, the melody and put his own kind of lyrics to it. So, So you're not completely wrong in that sense. And I think Ray Charles, there's a similar situation with him where he would take gospel songs and sort of speed them up and change the tempo and stuff. So inspiration comes from everywhere. And I do think you a lot of so my favorite combo, Lennon and McCartney and those kind of things, they talk about it. They call it nicking, they nick from anywhere, and like you never know where those inspirations. And I think what was so inspiring in the biography that you wrote was that it is a blend of styles, and I think you're bringing together a lot of unique mixture of things. So who inspires you, Luke? Like what are some acts that you're following, and they could be indie or even Katy Perry? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of my biggest inspirations throughout the years have been Peter Gabriel, Coldplay. I really love the 1975 a lot. And there's definitely honestly, like some Jonas Brothers stuff. I definitely kind of have a soft spot for some of that upbeat pop stuff. But yeah, Peter Gabriel is probably the biggest one for me, because there's something about the tone of his voice that I just loved so much. I heard his song "In Your Eyes" in high school. We actually included it in a youth group musical that we did. And it was like my favorite song for years, and I would just play it on autoplay and just over and over again on repeat. And he was probably the main person that I tried to model my vocal sound after. I would try to like get that kind of rasp and tone that he has to his voice. And that was a lot of where that kind of came from. So then Coldplay was another big one. I love their melodies. and then Hillsong was another big one. And Hillsong and Coldplay kind of have a lot in common. I think Hillsong probably ripped off more Coldplay than vice versa. But Hillsong, that was one of the major worship groups that was big for me in high school. And like, I'm not really religious anymore. There's still a lot of ways in which that particular group, the music that, you know, I was so into in high school, has this intense, you know, longing and anthemic kind of feeling to it. That played over into my songwriting and played over into the kind of feeling that I like to evoke in my lyrics and in the chords and the kind of way that I play. I'd say probably like those would be the biggest ones.
When you mentioned Peter Gabriel, I the word that came to mind was like a sort of a yearning. You know what I mean? Like he has that sort of like even in the upbeat songs, even like I guess it's Salisbury Hill, like even that song is more, it's such an infectious sort of song, but at the same time it has those elements of like nostalgia, like you were saying, like you know, and almost like dreaminess to it. He's and how the voice and the lyrics just fit so together so well, you know. I love Peter Gabriel too. I'm a big fan of him. So what's next for you?
His album Scratch My Back was his if I could album Scratch My Back was a huge inspiration for me, and actually drove a lot of one of the songs that I'm going to be doing today, the song Goodbye. Kind of, he does a lot of this gorgeous, you know, piano melodies with this kind of singing, speaking voice. And I pulled a lot of inspiration for this song kind of from that. So that and a little bit Coldplay and some Billy Joel. So
very nice, very nice. So what's next for you, Luke? You have an album in the works, and where can viewers where can they find out more about you and what you do?
So I've got an album coming out. It's a full-length album, about 12 songs. So I'm in the midst of creating that and balancing that with figuring out the promotional plan that I want to use, and doing all of the businessy stuff behind getting album out there. So, you know, setting up and figuring out like what merch do I want to do, you know, what kind of ads am I going to run, how am I going to do the promotion, and then having right now I'm building an automated metrics tracker that'll automatically pull in all of those things from my, you know, Facebook ad spend to how many ticket sales I'm making for live stream concerts or real concerts, you know, they're in person and all that kind of stuff, and bring it into one spreadsheet to give me like a real ROI from a business standpoint. So trying to do all that and, you know, put my brain in that headspace while balancing with doing all of the creative work. That's probably the biggest thing that I'm trying to do over the next, you know, 6 months or so, is try to balance those well and get that done. So that's probably the main thing I'm working on. I've got some other, you know, side projects and stuff like that too, of course, with videos and things like that. But yeah.
I wish we had more time to talk about, you know, not just your music, but you're also a video producer. You know, you're helping other artists to kind of make music videos and everything. Check out Luke you could just probably find him on Facebook, Instagram, all those kinds of things. It's Luke Justin Roberts. Luke, you're going to do another song for us. Just tell us a little bit about this song, maybe the inspiration behind it, and then kind of cue it up for us.
Yeah. So this song is called Goodbye. And when I first wrote it, a lot of time what happens for me when I write a song is that I don't know exactly what it's about until the song is done. And sometimes I kind of leave a song for a while because I think, oh, there's more to write for this song. And the next part comes to me, you know, weeks later, months later, years later sometimes. And this is one of those songs where I wrote the verse, I don't know, 4 years ago, three years ago, something like that. And then a couple years later, when I was trying to finish it for the album, because I figured, oh, it's got a really nice feel as like kind of an ending, concluding track for the album. I was just playing the verse, and all of a sudden the chorus just came to me, and it all made sense. And I realized when I write, I kind of just let the words come out, and I try not to judge what it is what these words are, or whether or not they make sense, or, you know, I should be thinking that, or like even judging, am I thinking that? Because it's just kind of flowing and letting that be. And what came out was a lot of processing of the grief of losing my faith, because that was my whole identity for the longest time for me. And so that's what it's about. And it's focused on some of the contrary feelings. Like there's an intense feeling of loss and longing for healing and something moving forward. There's also an acceptance of that and recognition that I am moving on to something better, and also like a nostalgic feeling that kind of that hits on the way that I look back at, you know, the way I used to believe and the way my life used to be and who I used to be. I'm really glad that I'm not that person anymore. But I also miss huge aspects of what that was like. So there's a nostalgia there. Just like when I go into a church, like I'll feel this sense of I'm coming home. And it feels really good. And then, but then after a little bit, I'm like, oh, right, this is why I'm not here. I don't really fit in here anymore. So it's kind of letting all that go. So that's what Goodbye is about.
Well, here it is. Goodbye by Luke Justin Roberts.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Be free. I'm here to let go. I'm here to give in faithfully, faithfully. They say I left you, but it was you who left me, singing softly, softly. When I slipped my heart to you, I promised many things. Though I threw no sticks and I turned no stones, your love, it battered down my bones, till through the window I could see clearly, like a child in the dark. When I slipped my heart to you, I promised many things. Though I threw no sticks and I turned no stones, your love, it battered down my bones, till through the window I could see clearly, like a child in the dark.
Thanks for watching this episode of The Creative Side, and special thanks to my guest, Luke Justin Roberts. And if you or anyone you know has the urge to express your creativity and inspire others to do the same, connect with MMC TV, and maybe you can be the next guest on The Creative Side.